Hey, Killing Crickets, we're back. God damn it, it's me, John Caparulo, and that is Brian Shinanigan. And you motherfuckers better be ready for some comedy, because it's coming the fuck at you right now. I don't what? Is this a little intense? It's a little intense.
Right now you're at a 7.
It's a little intense.
We need you like a 4.
So you know what? I'm gonna bring it down a little bit.
Bring it down. It's good to see you passionate though. It's good to see you go hard, especially at the beginning of the show.
Welcome back to the Comedy Hour on Killing Crickets. This is John Caparulo. Ma'am, we're trying to shoot a podcast over here, and you're saying things, okay? And we don't need it. All right. So, in 3, 2, 1. Now, look. Anyway, just keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
We're doing it live. Keep it.
We're going to do it live. So anyway, Killing Crickets. Yeah, you know, we're here. You can see the sign. You can see Brian Shinanigan. I'm John Caparulo. We're here. We're gonna talk. We're gonna do some stand up, and then we're gonna talk to some stand ups about their stand up, and then at the end of the show, we'll stand up and get out of here. So,
a lot of stand up. Stick around for stand up.
I told you to be quiet during this segment. Okay, this was all me, and you're fucking saying things. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, we already did it. All right, we'll see you in a minute. Give it up for Jozalyn Sharp. Let her hear it.
Hi, guys. Oh, I'm so excited. This year I'm on a fitness journey. I've lost 32 pounds. Thank you. And I don't just want to lose weight. I want to get strong. I want to get jacked. I want to be an absolute unit. I want most dudes to look at me and go, ugh. I want when men bother me in public, I can just pick them up and shake them until they stop. But not by their armpit or their waist. I want to reach in their pants, grab them by the dick and balls, and pull them up in the air like an old dusty mop I found in the basement. And I'm trying to shake the spiders out. That would stop you in your tracks, right, sir? Yeah, not some of these guys, they'd come, but not you, sir. Maybe that's what I'll use it for, to spice up my marriage. Throw my husband up in there like a pizza pie, jerk him off before he hits the ground. I'll call it the Mamma Mia. You'll be able to search that on Pornhub, mark my words. A lot of things they don't tell you when you start lifting heavy weights as a woman. First one is, your tits immediately go away. Now I take my bra off, no longer tits. 2 old diner waitresses are swinging there. They're smoking Virginia Slims. Like, who gave you guys cigarettes? Got calloused hands. Big old calluses on my hands. Now I give my husband hand jobs. He's like, this job feels union. Not super sexy. I DoorDash on the side as like my side hustle for comedy. Did you know that you could order dildos on DoorDash? Yeah, don't do that. Because then I have to go to Target at 9:15 a.m. Because your husband's out of town and you decided to have a spa day at home. And you order a Ben & Jerry's and a vibrator. But you're at home safe from the shame. No, it's me in line. I have to put the Ben & Jerry's and the vibrator on the conveyor belt like I'm the hungriest, horniest lady in all the land. You know? Like the cashier's like, how are you today? I'm like, I got something for both my lips. My cummy and my yummy. You can order dildos on Amazon now. But the weird thing about ordering sex toys on Amazon is you get the same shipment updates as you do for other packages. So you'll get a text and it'll be like, your adult fun time, big 8-speed, 8-inch, pink, blue, purple, personal massage, adult fun time, adults only 18 plus toy is 2 stops away. And all of a sudden you're getting wet from shipment updates. It's a new experience. My biological father found me on Instagram 2 years ago. Wild thing, 35 years of life, never met him before. He finds me, sends me a message, says, "Hey, I think I'm your dad." I just sent LOL back. I didn't know what to say. We do the test, turns out he's my dad, and we try to grow this friendship. But it's weird not only because we're adults, but because I know my origin story. My mom got pregnant, my dad gave her $500 and told her to get an abortion. And I don't know if y'all have ever become friends with your assassin. But it can be a little aki-talkie. Some of you are tense. I'll spoil the joke for you. I didn't get aborted. It's okay to laugh. And I want to be clear, I'm a feminist. I'm vehemently pro-choice. But the minute I meet this man, he's like, "What's your favorite color?" I'm like, "Being alive." Murderer. So I go to tell my mom this joke, because in some ways it's a joke about her. And I tell her this joke, and in the course of us talking about it, I go, "It's kind of crazy when you think about it, Mom, that I was $500 away. $500 away from never having to pay bills." Yeah, you can laugh. I'm not suicidal. I want to be aborted. It's different. I don't want to erase the game. I just want to never start it, okay? Now that it's started, I'm going to finish it. This is why I am the person I am, though. I tell my mom this, and she just reaches up and pats my face and goes, "Oh, baby, it was the 80s. It was $250. It's like, "Good to know, Ma. Good to know." My husband and I have been together for a really long time. We've been together for 11 years now, married for 5. Thank you. When you've been together for that long, fights start to change. You disarm each other quickly, There's things that happen because you can push each other so far, so fast, that you get so vulnerable that the fight energy just stops. Recently, I pushed my husband too far, and I know I did, because in the middle of the fight, he snapped, and he goes, "Oh, what, you think I'm a smart man? Oh, what, you think I'm just walking around thinking thoughts? Is that what you think?" I was like, "Well, you got me there, no. Can't accuse you of that." Some of you are confused because I do have quite the masculine energy. I am bisexual. I do have a husband. I know, I see the questioning looks in your eyes, because my energy is not like princess. You have like a princess energy. Not me. Listen, come and save me, knight. Not really inspiring a rescue. Different energy. I have the wrestling coach energy, like every man who's ever slept with me has done it scared. Motivated, but scared. Having sex with me feels like you could go all the way to state. That's what it feels like. Varsity. I love my husband. I don't miss being single at all. I don't envy it. It was so hard being single. I had so many rough dates. I once had a man take me to Panera Bread at night. It's the end of the joke, folks. 8:30 p.m. And I just want to point out that I'm not bougie. I'm not saying I won't fuck for a bread bowl. That's not the problem. The problem is I'm a woman in my 30s, and this man is taking me to a restaurant that serves exclusively cheese soup and coffee and thinking we're gonna fuck afterwards? No, sir. You're gonna have to take me to the park and walk me around like an old bulldog so I can fart. I'm not eating a bowl of broccoli cheddar soup and then letting somebody climb on top of me. No way! I'm not a fool. Once had a man pick me up by my taint during a blowjob. So startling. You're just giving a regular old run-of-the-mill beach. And all of a sudden you feel a man fishing around for a hole. Like he's trying to find a phone charger in the dark or something. And this man snatched me up by my taint. So quick in the throes of passion. I should have been offended, but I was just kind of proud. Yeah, because he lifted me up like, it was like I was a dog at the Westminster Dog Show. I should have been upset. He bowling balled me. But when he did, I couldn't be because I just felt like he was like best in show. Which is first place, if you don't know. I babysit because comedy's going really well. No, if you don't know this, if your friends have kids and they have grown-up money, they will pay you grown-up money to watch their kids. And my friend pays me $250 a night to babysit his kids. Yeah, I can't make $250 a night sucking dick on Fremont Street. But I can make it watching two kids play Minecraft for 2 hours. And I love them. The oldest one's, he's like very intelligent. He loves chess. He's always teaching me about professional chess players and their moves. And then the youngest one, the toddler, he's so stinking cute. He's feral. Just scraggly hair, no pants, always sticky. But my favorite thing is he has a scratchy voice like this. There's something so adorable about a toddler that sounds like he went to war. Like he has PTSD. He comes to the top of the stairs and he's like, Auntie Jozalyn, can I have a chalky milk? I'm like, I don't know, Sarge, did you finish your cigarettes? Finish all your cigarettes. But every night we have a ritual. He kind of throws a tantrum when I leave. I'm his favorite babysitter, so I created a game where I give him the biggest hug. The hug is designed to last until the next time I see him. And one night I go to lay him in bed, and I leave without giving him his big squeeze. And he goes, Auntie Jozalyn, what about big squeeze? So I go back in the room, I give him his hug, and this is when I realized he sees me differently than any other human in my life. Because when I leaned up from the hug, he reached up and grabbed both my breasts. And he went, whoa. You got big muscles. I was like, yeah, I'm fucking jacked, kid. I've been Jozalyn Sharp, thank you very much.
Hi, welcome back to Killing Crickets. We are here with Jozalyn Sharp.
Yes.
Yes, see? Got it right the
You
first
got
time,
it.
didn't I? See? Yeah,
First
that was,
try.
that was take one. Great set.
Oh,
It
thanks.
was really funny.
Thank you.
How long have you been doing comedy?
For 12 years.
12 years now? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's cool. Did you start here in Vegas?
I did, actually.
Okay.
I started in a little Raiders dive bar on Charleston and Sahara.
Well, that sounds awful.
It was, yeah. And it's still on the
And
internet.
you kept at it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, I avoided a lot of those places early on because it was like, I didn't want it to crush my spirit. And it's still like, I was able to, I guess, with, working at the Comedy Store and stuff like that. But it was, so your first time, have you gone consistently for that 12 years? Has there been any breaks or anything like that?
No
where you're
breaks.
just like, all right,
I've had day jobs on and off for the past 4 years. I'm now full-time comedy again for the second time. And I have
full-time comedies.
it's not a thing.
It's a figurative thing.
Yeah, it just means I sit on my couch
40
until
hours of
Friday.
comedy, yeah.
It just means I post on my stories what I eat for lunch.
We need a union, but it ain't there. It ain't
No,
there.
no.
But okay, so you started at a dive bar like that. So how long did it take you to start getting to where you made money at all? Like when was your first paid gig?
It was very quickly. It was about 3 weeks.
Okay.
And I have a background in being on stage, so I think I have a little bit of a jump than other people because
what's your background?
I was in musical theater my whole life.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I didn't have the stage fright era where I had to get over talking in front of people. Or
Does that surprise most people when you tell them that? 'Cause
Not at all.
I'm a little surprised. Yeah,
Are you haven't been around me enough.
Yeah, I'm
if
just
you
saying.
had 7 conversations with me, you'd be like, that clock's
Something
musical
about you
theater.
doesn't scream musical theater to me. I don't know what it is, but
Well,
seriously, it just doesn't.
One middle schooler has to play
You
Santa.
don't seem
and
like
it was me.
a cast member from Glee or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Well,
like,
because I was always playing a guy.
okay,
Or an old lady.
All right. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I was the only 5'10" middle schooler, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'd have kicked my ass. I know that. So okay.
Probably not. I was too busy trying to figure out how to tap dance so I could make it into the next
Nice.
cast.
So you were tap dancing and everything, huh?
No, you have to learn a little bit here and there for different roles or
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm from small town Nevada. This isn't it's not like it was New York off Broadway. It was
Right,
literally
right.
the weird guy from the Catholic Church with a keyboard.
Yeah.
Like, and we would literally, I think about this all the time too. We would practice from 3:30 p.m. when the bell came out till 10:30 at night, Monday through Friday.
Wow.
For who? For why?
Like waiting for Guffman.
The love of the game right there. Yeah.
Why are we trying to put on this insane
But
performance?
still having a background like that, though. Like, I mean, do you have you, I guess, pursued acting or anything like that?
Yeah, I
Like,
did when I
otherwise?
was right out of high school. I hated the process of auditioning.
Yeah.
I also hate self-taping. I don't really...
That's basically what it is now with
Yeah.
auditioning, because I've noticed that I rarely audition anyway, but I mean, when I've done it, it's been all tape. Ever since COVID, it's been
all
everybody's
self-tape.
excuse,
And I just don't like I mean, truly, all I want to do is do comedy. I want to be famous enough where I fill seats. Like, I don't care. If I do anything acting, it's only because I want to do comedy.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I watch a self-tape and I want to jump off a bridge. Like,
No,
I
that's-
don't...
no, I hear
I'm
you.
like, I have zero talent and I should kill myself.
Well,
And-
it's better being. I mean, I just know in my experience, it's just better being in. You feel like you're more in control of what you're doing and your own destiny. Because, I always thought, like, when I would, I took a few acting classes and stuff like that in LA, and I would always be like, how do these guys, like, what do they do between acting jobs? Like, because when you're doing comedy, it's like you can at least go pursue stage time, even if it's at some shitty Raiders bar or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, you can at least go and feel like you're doing something, working towards your goal. Whereas acting, it's like, you just got to wait until the next audition comes up, I guess, because it's like, you're not going to go, just go sign up on the list to go, play in Oklahoma or something tonight, So it's like, but now, do you feel like comedy wise, I've always, this is something I've always, I guess I ask probably, I ask every female comic who comes out, do you think that, do you think your path is harder or easier or the same?
It's both. It's both harder and easier.
Yeah.
I got paid so quickly doing comedy because I was decent at comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a decent and female at comedy, you'll be, I'm headlining half my shows on the road and featuring the other half. I'm stuck between two worlds, very, like, I'm the Blade. I'm a day walker and night walker.
Yeah.
Like, and it's because I'm a woman. And it's because there's especially in like this DNC level clubs, there is not a ton of female comics that can hang for 45 minutes.
Not at all.
And for a DNC level crowd who is so drunk, doesn't know shit about being a comedy audience, and has to be actively babysat your whole set.
Right.
Like, it's a totally different experience. So I feel like it's both easier and harder. Harder because I deal with inevitably more sexual harassment. I deal with weirdos. People expect strange things out of me. They want me to do certain things just because I'm a girl, and I don't want to do those things, and I just want to do stand-up, and I want to be treated like everybody else.
Right.
Like, I don't want to get the gig because I'm a girl, and I also don't want to get the gig because I'm a girl.
And really, in that sense, I mean, in my experience, you are being treated like everybody else, because it's like we're all, I mean, whatever your, whatever makes you different, or whatever weakness you have or anything like that is going to be, somehow picked at or exposed by somebody in this business, because it's rough. I mean, it's competitive, and, you go into it and people are just going to be, how they are, where it's like they're just going to, they look at you as a threat if they're other comics.
Yeah.
If they're, from the audience, they're going to, depending on if you're a man, woman, white, black, gay, straight, there's going to be somebody who's going to want to prey on that for whatever reason. And so I think it's just, I've always thought, I think it's just, I think a lot of people think like, because they only know their own experience, they're like, well, it's harder for me because of this. And it's like, it's hard for all of us. It really
and
is.
everything in this industry is not fair. And that's the first thing that everybody has to get out of their head, is that nobody owes us the mic. Nobody owes us stage time. Literally nobody could book us ever again. I can't log an HR complaint. Like, it's just, it is what it is. Like, we are in the business of rejection, and I think that's probably why I've worked as long as I have, because I'll keep taking a no. I mean, you can keep kicking me in the teeth. I'll keep sending the email. I don't care.
And I think, and there's good and bad to that. I think we all get kind of conditioned to
Get kicked in the teeth.
Yeah, well, I mean, because
you're not wrong.
Really, because when you get to a point where you can actually start, maybe, making money or demanding, this or that, it's like you've gotten so used to groveling by then. A lot of us never really get past that. And that's the thing. It's like, it's a really weird thing with comedy, because you come into it basically begging just to participate, to then to go from begging to participate to actually, demanding a sum of money. It's wow. It's a
Well,
it's
you
a
have
big
to
leap.
break up with venues, and that's been like my last 2 years of learning that it's just not worth it for me. Like I'm not gaining new audience members, I'm not gaining exposure, and I'm losing money on the trip. So I have to tell them like I can't do this venue anymore. And 9 times out of 10 they're super understanding. They're like, yeah, I get it. I know we pay you chicken tenders and $250. Like, so they get it, but at the same time, like I don't know. It's hard. It's really difficult because there is no recipe for success, and it seems simultaneously like the easiest thing on the planet and the hardest, especially with the internet right now.
Well, and they also know that if you won't do it, somebody else will behind you. It's like, oh, you don't want to do this? Great. We got 20 other people dying to get on this stage for chicken tenders, you know?
Exactly,
and it's like, that's the hard thing to toe.
It's fucking chicken tenders.
I mean, I'm wings or nothing.
How hungry am I?
Depends on the tenders for me. I don't know. So at what point did you know you wanted to do comedy? Because I know you said that you had the background in on stage and things like that. But I mean, when did you know that was what you wanted to do? At what point in life?
Well, I was always kind of doing it, and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Like I was always kind of holding court at parties in high school and in college and stuff. Like I'd be sitting on the balcony or on the porch, and I loved to chain smoke. Like I was such a chain smoker for many years. And I would just smoke cigarettes, and people would ask me for stories. They sometimes would request the same stories over and over. They would say, tell us this one, or tell us that one, or do you have a new one? And I would just tell these stories of my life and hooking up and dating and working and whatever. And I had no idea, because I'm from like rural Nevada. I just thought I was like, this is what you do on a porch.
Right.
I didn't know
Spin a yarn.
I didn't know that it was like a thing.
There's a lot of boring porches out there.
I didn't realize. And my best friend one day, she was like, you should do stand-up. And I had been obsessed with stand-up, my whole life. I had listened to, half of my Pandora stations, which dates me, but half of my Pandora stations were stand-up comedians. They were literal names of comics. Some that I've gotten.
You think that dates you? That's still, to me, that like seems still pretty new, but
it's not.
I hear. Thank you. That was,
You're welcome.
That was a nice condescending tone. I appreciate that. But who were your favorite comics?
At the time, this sounds like I'm gonna kiss your ass, but genuinely, it's you. It was you and
seriously,
yeah.
God.
My Pandora stations
Get
were
some better taste, lady.
No, your Comedy Central half hour, and then somebody else's were the first two that I saw. Wow. Where I really thought it was funny. Because before, like, a certain age, stand-up is like your parents' thing. Yeah. Like, you don't really get the jokes. Like, you're like, I don't understand why this is funny. And these were, like, the first set of stand-up that I saw. And then I got really into musical comedy for a while and started following, like, Stephen Lynch and those guys. And then I didn't even know it was an option. I didn't know that you could, like, do stand-up. I thought you had to, like, be picked. And I told my ex at the time that I wanted to do stand-up, and he goes, why, you're not funny? And I was like, you're right. And then I just moved on with my life for 5 years. And then I moved to Vegas, and my first online date was with a stand-up comic in the local scene. And so my first group of friends were comics, and the minute I admitted that I wanted to do stand-up, they were like, well, you're going up. Yeah. Like tomorrow. Yeah. Like,
'cause that's what you got to do. You just got to go do it.
Yeah.
Does that guy still do comedy?
No. He does not. When my special came out, I got a lone text from him that said the special was great, and I was like, I haven't talked to you in 8 years. That's so weird to me. That's the weirdest thing you could ever do.
That's cool. They're like, I see. It's funny to me though, because like your background though, you'd say like the way you came up and just sort of put everything except really except for the smoking was familiar for me. Yeah. And you said hooking up. There was none of that. So, but just that whole sort of experience coming up, that was just sort of, tell stories, and then you want you to tell the same one again, and then you just sort of add to it. I mean, that's, so it's surprising to me that almost like, I guess you have to have friends that, are sort of like, come on, you need to go do it.
Yeah,
like, you have to have somebody else tell
and
you.
I was dating a guy who drove a lifted truck. And he wasn't going to support my creative endeavors. He was like, why don't you have the biggest boobs I've ever seen? Like, that was his biggest concern every day. He wasn't really worried about whether I was creatively fulfilled.
Right.
My husband's very supportive. It's very different,
cool.
So
cool.
It's.
And he doesn't have a lifted truck?
He does not, no. We drive matching cars.
Aww.
Yeah. Very different. We have black and white Corollas.
That's lame.
It is. Tell that to my gas mileage.
Kidding, man. No, that's really cool, and it surprised me. I mean, I've had a couple people say to me about my first Comedy Central special, and I'm like, You have no idea how upset I was after that.
Really?
Special.
He hated it.
I hated that one.
He hated it.
I tried to get it. Like, I actually had it in mind at the time. I was like, if I pay Comedy Central back, will they just not air it?
Well, you should probably take it down because it's inspired so many of us to start.
That's what's crazy to me. And that's what's so, like, because really, as a comic, you just get so kind of, you know, short-sighted, and you kind of just get caught up in your own world. And you're like, well, that, you know, I live with my act and what I do every day, just like every comic does. So you just don't, you start to lose sight of the fact that, like, there are people out there who, you know, it reaches them, you know, and it's like, even though, like, you know, I did that set, I mean, there's a whole list of complaints about it that I have about how that night went and the way the shoot went and everything. And it was just like, you know, and I just remember thinking, like, you know, that was my first special, you know, and it was such a big deal because that's what I grew up, like, you know, aspiring to, you know, Eddie Murphy Delirious and things like where you could do your own, the half-hour comedy hours that used to be on when I was a kid.
Yeah, and you could just record them and put them out on the internet like you can now.
Right.
You had to have somebody give you one.
But I mean, to get to that point where I was actually shooting a special, and then I go out there and I'm like, man, I remember I was supposed to give them 28 minutes, you know, to use to basically pick from, put their commercial breaks in, and you know, and you had to write out your set. You had to give them your whole set word for word. And I was done in 22 because, you know, I had accounted for laughs. Yeah. So, and the thing is, I go rapid fire too when I'm getting, like, when it, you know, if I'm not getting, like, the response I want and everything, especially then. I hadn't even been doing comedy. Maybe I wasn't even in it 10 years at that point. And it's like, I went rapid fire and I was at 22. And, you know, I wrapped it up, went, thanks, good night. I get off stage and they're like, yeah, we need 6 more minutes. And I'm like, but I said thank you and good night. And they're like,
sorry.
Get your ass back out there.
Yeah.
Go, hey, give them an encore. And I'm like, okay. And I mean, all I had left really at the time was like my dirtiest material.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they're not going to be able to use this shit
TV,
anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't even, you know, but I just still, it's coming back to this. It's crazy to me to think though, and it's crazy in a good way. Though,
yeah, because
to
it's
think
a good
that anybody actually
that,
was positively affected by that is, that's awesome.
Well, and
That's
not just
awesome.
a lot of people were. I mean,
appreciate that.
Especially for all my friends, you know. I mean, I'm sure some of these guys can attest. Anybody who's a comedy fan who knows that we get to work with you, they're like, nah. No way. Vegas? What? Because in Vegas, usually it's like, yeah, I got to work with a magician who dresses like a giraffe. It was great. You know, like that's the normal gig. But this is different. This is new. And Wise Guys is creating like a actual real local comedy scene.
It is. And that's what I really love about it is that we, you know, it gives us a place to go work out and, you know, you just sort of, you meet other comics and you, all this stuff that, you know, I mean, I really, because, you know, when I came out here, I had a residency show and I just went and did my show every night. Yeah. I didn't even have an opener. So to actually get in and with the comedy community and just be able to, you know, hear other comics act, talk to them off stage and stuff like that, it's really cool. And I'm really glad that they've given us that sort of environment. And that's why we've moved our podcast away from there. But I mean,
well, because they want to go home.
It is really cool though that they've given us a chance to make a comedy community here, and that is.
Well,
awesome.
they give locals a shot, which is like not. And I mean, there's a lot of clubs here on the Strip who have given us local spots and stuff over the years, but you have to like earn them. Like it feels like some sort of like Olympic Roman trial where it's like, you know, I was the last to get the belt.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
And even if you get it, you might lose it if somebody more famous shows up.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, you're racing to go in front of the shittiest audience you've ever been in front of in your life. An audience full of people who walked up to a booth
old,
and said,
tired.
"Give me a ticket."
They're drunk.
People who lost their money. People who like
they got stuck at a timeshare meeting or some shit.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of that here, man.
People ask me all the time why I'm in Colorado so much, and it's genuinely just because if I'm going to work on material, I need to go somewhere where there's audiences.
Yeah.
And there's a plethora of stage time in Colorado with real audiences.
Yeah.
But here you have to like at some point on the Strip, sometimes spoon feed them, and it's not fun. It takes the fun out of it for me because I'm a wackadoo. I like to do weird riffs and stuff. And the people on the Strip aren't here for like a Clifford the Big Red Dog riff.
The tourist crowds they're more they need to be treated a little bit more. Well, I mean, just it has to be more all encompassing and sanitized. Yeah. To a certain degree.
The most watered down version of your set you've ever done. If you can work a puppet in, try.
I mean, I try. But they see my mouth moving. You know,
every time.
But man, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad. Yeah, so we're gonna have you on the Kimmel Show here.
Yeah, I'm
and,
excited.
I'm glad we worked together on the. Yeah, I'm glad you finally got on the Sunday. Sunday night special, because it's really, you know. I mean, I'm surprised. Wait, did you do it once before?
I've done it one time before, a million years ago.
That's right. It was one of the earliest
like
ones.
The first or second one.
It's because I'm in that weird limbo. So
I remember me and you wore the same shirt.
Yeah, and I made fun of you.
I think
And I called my best friend afterwards, and I was like, I made fun of John Caparulo. He was like, no, you didn't, because he's a comic out of Phoenix.
It was funny, man. I really think I really like your comedy, man.
Thanks. That means a lot.
No, seriously,
I do. I really do.
You're really one of the, like, when you say, like, not only who's a good comic in town, like, not only who's a good woman comic in town, but who's a good comic in town, your name is always in the mix.
Nice. That means a lot.
I love watching you work.
Because somebody commented on my Instagram that I'm a Belling Ball ripoff yesterday, and I've been really feeling that since.
Fuck, man.
I've been really
Don't
feeling
read the comics. Don't read those comments.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Don't
have your wife
read
do
the
it
comments.
like I do. Yeah.
Then I don't have to read them.
Yeah. It's really shaped her opinion of me too. So
I'm sure. Yeah. She's like, actually, they have a point.
Right, exactly. After a while, it's like, I don't know. a lot of people feel this way, John. But yeah. But it's dude, you really, I love really just funny, honest comedy like you do, and I love stuff that it just, I can tell it all came from a real place about the babysitting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's really funny, really genuine stuff, and I really liked it a lot.
Thank you. It's really what I like to. I mean, like I said, I came into this by being a shit talker storyteller at a party, and that's really when I figured out I could do that for a job. I was like, that's all I'm going to be thinking about until
Keep
that is my
shit,
job.
Right?
Yeah,
exactly. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, you should come back on.
Yeah, we'll have you back on again.
I would love to. Yeah.
That's this whole podcast is coming on as you get further in your career, work on more bits and stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and we'll see we'll do the Kimmel Show, and don't worry, if you bomb, you can come back because
that's great because I bomb there a lot.
Ask Brian.
Yeah.
The one
that's the worst audience.
Listen,
he's not kidding.
The Jimmy Kimmel's audience is no joke. I have a joke that they're literally like, no matter what name you say, the minute you walk out and you're not Jimmy Kimmel, they're like, well, this is bullshit. You can say any other name, but they're like, Jimmy Kimmel. It's gonna be Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, right.
And it's me.
Yeah, I have so many people ask me if I talk to him every day or something.
I think that's why they put the hologram in the.
I think it is. I really do think it is. Yeah.
Just so they can be like, he's in the bar.
No, he has one of those in his house. He can talk to people in that club. Yeah. He just never does it.
Oh, I wouldn't either. Why would you?
Why?
Honey, I'm going to the drunk hologram club.
Yeah.
I'm going to go talk to all these drunk people.
All right, well, guys, follow Jozalyn Sharp at the links below, and we'll be right back with more Killing Crickets.
In 3, 2, all right. All right. Thanks for joining us on Killing Crickets. We had some laughs. We had a few tears, but that was just because Brian pinched me, and
I'd be doing that.
and as always, we'll be back again. When? I don't know.
Every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks.
So we'll be back on Killing Crickets next time you see us. And so anyway, thanks for joining us.
Like, subscribe.
Are you still telling them that shit?
I'm trying.
Look, they know.
Like, subscribe, tell your friends, come back, follow the comics you saw at the socials below, and we'll be back with more Killing Crickets.
I'm not saying a fucking thing.
Is there a live lizard on me right now?
It looks like, that'll happen. It's,
is that safe?
We have an exterminator that's supposed to come in, but it just keeps moving the